Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be reviewing Emperor Palpatine Deluxe version 6 scale collectible figure from Hot Toys. Now this is an absolute pleasure, this is. I've been waiting for this figure for a while now, and to tell you the truth, I can't wait to get into this video. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Now, there he is, the man himself, sitting on his throne. And he's got some loyal servants hanging with him today. My royal guards. They look absolutely fantastic. Palpatine on his throne looks really great. I don't know if you can sort of see the detail in it, but as it might be a bit dark. But don't worry, we'll get him out and have a closer look. And something was bothering me about it, but a little more about that later. So, as you can see, the deluxe version comes with his chair, the Emperor's throne, and a few other bits and pieces. We'll get into the bits and pieces first. He comes with another two pairs of hands, so he's got a lot of right hand action going on here. So that's his right hand. Oops, that's his right hand there. So he's got a few gestures, a bit of a pointing sort of hand, as well as a cupping sort of hand to hold Luke's lightsaber, as well as a flat palmed left hand. Now I've got the right hand, the right palmed straight hand on him now, and I've got the equivalent to his left hand that's on him, which would be probably maybe that one. So as you can see with the hands, they're well coloured, and they've got great details in the veins as well as the knuckles. And if you can look really close, you can see the fingernails are cracked and scuffed. So the amount of details just in the hands and the fingernails is quite amazing. You can see, look at all the wrinkles and that on there. And his right sort of pointer hand there. Quite amazing. Great stuff. And now for his cane. He comes with a cane as well. Now this is a nice shiny looking cane. It looks, there's no scuffs or wear on it. It's a really shiny and looks like a brand new cane, but it's quite big. It's quite massive. If I put it next to him, it comes up to his pretty much his raised hand there. And if we grab one of the Royal Guard staffs, we can see that it just drops short, but it is quite big and it looks a bit bulky, so that's fantastic. I'll give him his staff back. Now, as for the chair option, it's also got a stand option with his name on it. So that would be in the throne room floor. Sort of the look on the top of the stand. So that's quite nice. It gives you another option. Yeah, but you know, you buy the deluxe version, you get the chair. So I think it would be, for me, it would be a shame for me to hide the chair away. You'd want to display that in some sort of way. Even if you could probably stand him in front of it, though he would look fairly tall being on the stand. But as you can see, the chair lights up as well. Here's Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. Now it doesn't come with the actual blade, it's just the saber itself. Nice and big, looks awesome. No real wear on it. Looks brand new. And also you got with the Emperor these lightning bolt sort of looking things. Now these are really long. I'll put it, they're about as tall as the guard, but they are absolutely massive. You got two of them to go on both hands. Now I take it with these, I did have a handout. They go on the open palm hand. As for this is his left hand, so they just sort of, if I can get this to happen, let's see, they just sort of fit on there quite nicely. You just got to line them up a little bit, and there you go. Lightning coming out of his fingers. It's a nice touch. I suppose if you had a Luke Skywalker figure when he's in the throne room with the Emperor, you can have that lightning sort of hitting him as he's down on his knees. So that's a nice touch. It feels like it's fragile, but it does bend fairly well. So I reckon it would be fairly strong, but you wouldn't want to tempt fate with them. You wouldn't want to sort of bend them and twist them or be in a hurry to get him into any sort of position, just in case you decide to, you know, just catch something on them and break them off, because that would be a real shame. And here's the other lightning bolt here. And I take it this one's for his right hand. So I'll put those on later. Yeah, sort of like that. It does fit on there, but I think this one's for his right hand and this one's his left. As for the figure himself, I'll get him out. Well, no, we might do him last. We'll do the chair first. So the chair is absolutely massive. It's got these light up displays on the side as well as on the inside of them as well. And they sort of flicker around a little bit as well. If you, I don't know if you can see that, but they sort of flicker as well, which is a nice touch. And you also got under the hood a light there, so it sort of beams down on the top of his scalp or his hood that he's wearing. But it's all plastic. There's nothing, no material, nothing soft here. It's all hard plastic. It's an awesome looking chair. It's nice and huge. And you got this base on the bottom that you can sort of pivot him around for easy display. So I quite like it. Nothing much going on at the back. Just it's got like a nice shiny metallic sort of feel, finish. I mean, and the purple in the chair's not overly bright. It's like a faded sort of look to it. But no scuffs on it. It looks like a brand new chair, throne, or whatever you would like to call it. But it is quite big. As you can see next to the Royal Guards, it comes up to about shoulder length, shoulder height. So it is quite big. Now here is the Emperor himself. Now his cloak is quite big. It's got these big bulky bits at the right at the end of his hands, so it goes sort of skinny and then they sort of taper right out. It's quite loose fitting. There's heaps of material here, and you also got like a band in here in the sleeve area where you can sort of mold it and shape it to what you want. And now he's got a massive hood on him which covers his head nicely. It is sort of stitched behind his head, so there is a lot more there. I suppose that you could cut that stitch there and it would be absolutely massive and very loose. It will definitely come over the front of his face. Now I haven't tried to take this off. I don't know if you can take this clip off. Oh, I think you probably could. Oh, there we go. Comes with a little like button there, so you can take his cloak off. Oh, I don't want to wreck anything. No. Oh, I might leave that on, guys. Now his undergarment looks very knight-like. Is like he's knighty. Great fabric, like Hot Toys, Sideshow, all those guys with their collectibles have amazing feeling fabric on them. So that's a nice little grey undergarment, looks a bit more like a bathrobe. And then underneath that you got sort of like a pair of track pants. But there's his boots. The boots look really good as well. They a brown boot, sort of like a bit like a cowboy boot really. But yeah, no, they're really nice fabric. You got the track pants, the bathrobe, and then you got his cloak that wraps around him, which is quite big, and that little button there to just do it back up again like that, easy as that. So here's his head. As you can see, look at the detail in that head. That is absolutely crack-a-lackin'. Absolutely cracking. His hands match his head, because you got all the sort of wrinkles on it, and then you got mass amount of wrinkles on his head. Not much hair going on there. It's a bit like Dracula, the sort of look of him. So he's got that bit of a smile. I would have liked them to put in another head sculpt of him just with his mouth closed. But look, I'm not too disappointed with that. It's a great pose for him. It makes him look like that he's alert, which is great. So yeah, guys, this is very impressive, this figure. Now, as you can see, the size of him there, I'll put him next to the Royal Guard. He is somewhat smaller. As you can see, he probably comes up to the guard's eyeballs, and he's only a little bit higher than his chair. So he does look like next to these figures especially, he does look quite small, quite skinny and small. But as you can see, he does look menacing. I do like that head sculpt. He just looks like that he's just thinking, just plotting away, and he's got everything under control. So yeah, he looks absolutely awesome. I can't wait to put him with Darth Vader as well. And that's one thing that Disney Star Wars has given me, and that's an absolute craving, huge appetite, if you will, for the old original Star Wars characters, and even the prequel characters as well, as Anakin Skywalker, the evil Anakin Skywalker. I reckon I got my finger on the button for that one, so we'll see how we go. But I would really like to get I would really like to get Tarkin with Palpatine, to have the guards, Palpatine on his throne, Darth Vader and Tarkin right next to him. I reckon that would absolutely be a picture. So look, I can't be happier with this figure. I absolutely love it. There's nothing that turns me off about it or I'm not impressed with. There was a few things when I unboxed him, I took him out and looked at him, and I'll tell you my first thoughts on what I was thinking when I first looked at him on his chair. Now, you guys know I don't mix my words with these figures. I tell it how it is. And when I first was looking at him, there was two things that annoyed me. And that is, number one is this seam down his arm sits out in front. So there's no way to avoid that, because you hang this over the arm, the side of the chair, and you got the crease going right up his arm. I don't know what else you'd need to do to get that effect, but that I noticed straight away, and the same over here, to get the cloak to drape over the arm of the chair. So that was the first. I would have liked it to not have that crease in there, but that seam in there, but I'm not sure how they would have pulled it off without having that seam in there. So look, I'm not worried about that. And the second thing I noticed when I looked at him, now you guys are going to think I'm an absolute tool, but his feet don't touch the ground. It's like they're hanging there like a little kid. Oh, wait a minute. I'll take you off here. See, his feet are a fair way off the ground. So when I seen that, the first thing I thought about was a little kid swinging his legs from sitting on the chair because he couldn't reach the ground. So I had to check this, and I did, on the movie, in The Return of the Jedi, and his feet are just hovering off the ground. So this is the only fault I could find with this figure, was the feet was too far off the ground, and I'm going to have to check those seams there. But Look, guys, I'm being very, very, very picky, searching for issues with this figure, issues that don't really matter. Look, I am not fussed with that at all. I sat and watched him all night, most of last night, looking at him sitting there posed as that, with his hand over Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. And the more I looked at him, the more impressed I was at the effort that they would have had to do to make him so movie character perfect. So I could not be happier. I absolutely love him. He looks absolutely amazing with the Royal Guards. No regrets at all. You know, thumbs up to all the guys at Sideshow, all the guys at Hot Toys that create, especially this figure. It's absolutely cracker. I can't stop looking at it, and it's definitely a centerpiece piece. But now I've got this guy, I need Tarkin, because Darth Vader's going to stand next to him. I reckon Tarkin and these three would absolutely make put on a stellar show for anyone who's looking to show these figures off. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and share. Drop us a comment on your thoughts about especially this figure, Emperor Palpatine. But also, how do the Royal Guards look next to him? So, yeah, really stoked here, guys. Take care, and we'll catch you on the next review. See ya.
I'm looking forward to completing your training.